Alright, this video is to show you how to run a script that will install Arch Linux ARM on this guy right here. The Samsung Chromebook 2012 model. I believe it's the first gen. This is a dual core ARM processor, Exynos ARM processor. It has 2 gigs of RAM, DDR3, HDMI port, wireless ABGNN, webcam. This little thing I picked up off of Craigslist for 60 bucks, couldn't pass up on it. Turns out that you can use this as a full-fledged little laptop. It's a lot more useful with Linux on it than it is with just Chrome OS. Now this script will install to external media, either USB drive or a SD card or a micro SD card inside of a USB adapter or SD card adapter, what have you. This is tested to work on this model. It may work on the Chromebook too. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but it definitely works on this one. So if you're gonna flash on any other device, do it at your own risk. First thing you're gonna want to do is get into developer mode. You do that by holding down the escape key, the reload key, which is the 4th key from the left on the top of the keyboard, and tap the power button. It's going to reboot like this. Now this is already in developer mode, so it's not going to work. But you press Control D here, and it will give you an option to get into developer mode. You got to press Enter. Then it'll tell you something like you're in developer mode. But in order to really get it going, you press Control D. This will flash or reboot or whatever, and then it'll go into the process of getting developer mode going. That'll take like 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. Grab a cup of coffee, do something, find something to do. Now when it's done, you press Control D again, or you press power. I forget, one of the two. You're gonna see this. Once you're in developer mode, you have to wait like 30 seconds in order to boot for the Chromebook to boot itself into Chrome OS off the SSD or whatever you may have on the SSD. To bypass that, you press Control D. That beep right there lets you know you're in developer mode. Chrome OS boots up now. I've tried this in browse as guest mode, but ran into some problems. Having to do with an extension to extract the zip file that the script goes into. You can bypass that by copying and pasting the script. I prefer personally to download the zip file. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go here, github.com/altreact/archbook. Everything's documented here, the whole process, certain things to look for is documented here. And actually this script was built off of the instructions found here, archlinuxarm.org for the Samsung Chromebook. You hit installation, and you see all the instructions here on how to manually do this. I got tired of doing this manually, so I decided to write a script. So next thing you're going to want to do is go here. Go to Archbook. You're going to see a green cloner download button. Hit that. Hit download zip. You're going to see this zip. I already downloaded it once before. It's a small file, so it should download very fast. Just for simplicity's sake, let me get rid of this duplicate. Now you may need an extension to unarchive this. I forgot how I went about that, but I just double click it. And then right here it mounts as if it were an external drive or something. It just mounts like it's Mac OS or something. So what you want to do is open up this folder. And here's the README and everything. The license, if you want to take a look at that. What you really need to do is drag and drop this makearchdrive.sh into your downloads folder. See, I already have them here. Let me get rid of this just for demonstration purposes. Get rid of the excess and just leave the script there. Once you got that good, you want to go Control-Alt-T to bring up cross terminal. At cross terminal, you type in shell, then CD to make sure you're in your home directory. CD, capital D, downloads, not download, downloads. ls, verify we're in the right directory. Okay, there's our script. Now here is very important. You do not want to do this. You don't want to do that. You need to run the script as root. If you don't run as root, then it's not going to work right. So to verify, who am I? Right now I'm currently Chronos. It's not going to work. So sudo su, it should turn red. Now who am I? Root. That's what you want to see. Do it right the first time if you don't want to waste time and do it again. All right. So we're here. The next thing you want to do is sh make arch drive .sh. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to turn off Wi-Fi. See, this script downloads Arch Linux ARM for this Chromebook from their website. If you don't already have it, this is what you're going to see. You got to make sure you're connected to the internet, or this is what you're going to see. If you run this script offline and you do not have Arch Linux ARM in the same directory as this script. So in this case, all you got to do, if you see this screen, turn Wi-Fi on. Press enter. As soon as it connects, there you go. It's going to prompt you to remove all devices besides the one you're going to flash Arch to. The script will not continue unless you only have one SD card or USB drive or what have you. Only one piece of storage media can occupy any drive for this to work. For demonstration purposes, I have two. See, it'll tell you that more than one drive is present. You only have to have one. You have to make sure you only have one. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to remove all drives. This is how you remove the drives. You want to safely remove them. You don't want to yank them out. So you go to Files. Right here, I have a shortcut. If you don't, you can tap this button here, or you can press the little hourglass key. And that's the Files icon there. If for some reason it's not on this front page, you click All Apps, and then you scroll until you find it. So here's Files. And I already ejected everything. You want to hit the little eject button. For demonstration purposes, I am going to remove both drives. So now there's no storage, external storage media. It will tell you that there's no media. There's no media to install to. So you only have to have, you're supposed to have only one, not two, just one, or else the script won't work. So I'm going to pop this baby back in. Now it's very important, if you have anything on this drive that you want to keep, then navigate to the drive. This is from a previous install. I already did this install. I'm just going to overwrite it this time. There's something you want to keep. Let's say you want to keep this root directory. Put it in my drive. Put it in downloads. Move it somewhere else. Plug in another piece of storage media and move it over if you want to keep it. All right. So once you have your one drive in, press any key to continue. You're going to get the warning that whatever's on that piece of media will get wiped and replaced with Arch right there. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Now the script is going to do its thing. Basically what it's going to do, it's going to create a GPT table on the entire hard drive. Then it's going to make a little space for the kernel. Then it's gonna create two partitions, one for the kernel, one for the root file system. If you don't have Arch in your downloads folder, if you've never downloaded before, it's not there, it's gonna download Arch. Now you can be offline if you have Arch, the Arch tarball in the same directory as the script. The script will detect the tarball by the exact name, this name right here, Arch Linux ARM Peach Latest tar.gz. It is case sensitive. Now if you want to give it a go, you download it. Let's say you can't get internet on this machine and you got tethering issues, like you tether and you got real fast internet on your phone, but it's not so fast while you're connected with your Chromebook. You can download it on your phone. You can put the tarball, take it from your phone, put it on the Chromebook, and you'll be able to flash online if it has the same name. Just make sure that it's good. If you tried to install with that tarball before and things didn't go right, you might want to download it again. This will take, depending on your internet connection, this will take 5-6 minutes, sometimes 20, but all depends. Sometimes 3, depends on your internet connection. After this install here, the script will ask you if you want to keep this tarball for a later install. By default, this tarball is downloaded into the temp folder. See right here, we moved into the temp directory. And if not, I'm not mistaken, as soon as you shut down the computer, when you turn it back on, everything in temp gets wiped when you shut down. So that's a good place to download it. So, you don't have files all over the place. That's a good place to transfer everything. So for that reason, it's in temp. But after this, if you choose, the script will move this tarball from the temp directory to your user's download directory for later use, which will again give you the option to bypass the download if you want to run this script again to install on another piece of media or to reinstall on the current piece of media for whatever reason. At this moment, this script will only write to an external drive, but I have plans in the future to adapt it so that once you have the script flashed on the external drive, you'll be able to run the script off of the external drive to flash the internal one. If that makes any sense there. To my knowledge, at this point, that's the only way to get this version of Arch onto the internal SSD. There are drawbacks, there are advantages. Me personally, I like keeping Chrome OS on the internal for easy recovery, easy power wipe. And usually I use Arch Linux for terminal things. So I use tmux for multi-window and I use Vim and things like that. This is my machine to force an environment where I have no choice but to get good with the terminal. That's what this Arch does for me personally. But you can build it to be whatever you want it to be. You're left with a command prompt. You can install any desktop environment you want, any window manager. You can do whatever you want with it, but you basically have a blank slate. You have what you need, exactly what you need, and you build it from there. Now here, the tarball is being extracted. The root file system at this point is being extracted into partition 2 of the external media. Now these extended header warnings, ignoring the flags, I've seen this every time I've installed Arch this way, manually or with the script. It doesn't seem to have much of a effect on the end result. If there's somebody more knowledgeable about me than this, that knows what's going on here, please leave it in the comments. I'm pretty sure everybody will benefit from it. See, now it's writing the kernel image to the first partition. This Chromebook in particular, ARM Chromebooks or ARM devices, Qbox size, stuff like that, they use U-boot. I believe Raspberry Pi uses it also. U-boot. Instead of grub and Lilo and things like that, this uses U-boot. And U-boot, in order for it, the way it works different than grub. There's like a little blank space in the beginning of the drive, and things have to be in certain order. I'm not too knowledgeable about that. But then again, if anybody else is knowledgeable about it, share it in the comments. I'm pretty sure everybody will benefit from it. Right now, unmounting target. Now, a note on this, I'm using the Class 10 8GB SD card for convenience. The bigger the drive, the longer this process is going to take. The flashing process, the unmounting process. I recommend using a Class 10 SD card, a micro SD card. I like it because it doesn't stick out so much and it's pretty fast. It's almost as fast as the SSD. And I don't like the idea of something like this sticking out that much out of the drive. Like on a table it's fine, but on a lap or something, you got all this play. I'm not really too keen on that. USB 2.0 drives are stupid slow. If that's all you got, use it. But USB 3 and Class 10 micro SD cards are the way to go. Usually with USB 2, the script will run or a manual install will run, and the Chromebook will shut off by itself. But the cool thing is, most of the time when it turns back on, you press Control U, you're able to boot no problem. Right here it says, would you like to keep blah 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 in your downloads folder? You can keep it. No, we'll leave it in temp. It will get wiped. Yes, we'll move it to your downloads directory of the current user you're using. See, now yes, it's taking a little while to actually move the tarball. Why it's taking so long, I don't know. It's a few hundred, 200-300 megabytes. The root file system, 200 or 300. Now right here it says reboot now because I'm using an SD card. Now if you're using a USB drive, then you'll get a little reminder here or a prompt telling you that if you use the blue USB 3.0 port, it will tell you to power. If I ask you if you want to power off instead of reboot, and the reason for that is if you flash using the USB 3.0 port, the flash will be faster, so it's preferable to use that port. But this Chromebook will not boot from the USB 3.0 port. It will only boot from the black USB 2.0 port. So you power off. Now the machine's off. You're not gonna mess up any data or corrupt the drive if you unplug it. Unplug it, put it in the right port, reboot. So right now we're gonna reboot. Yes. Now this thing reboots on its own. Now here you press Control D to boot from the SSD or the little flash module, or this point we're gonna go Control U. It doesn't matter if you have an operating system on SD card or USB drive. It doesn't matter. Control U will boot from somewhere other than the internal SSD if the storage media has something that can be booted by this Chromebook, which in this case, this Arch right here happens to be booted that way. So now we have Arch. You see how easy it was? Okay, clear. We have working Arch. Now I may put out another video on what to do from this point to get started with Arch on this. The regular Arch guide talks about it pretty good. But if you want another video, let me know. I'll put one up about what to do at that point once you have Arch installed. Now this brings me to my next point. I've tried it before and it works beautifully. Right now I really don't like GUIs on this thing because I want to work on the terminal. But Mate Desktop works very well on this thing. Very, very well. Like, I'm pleased and surprised on how well it works. And I may be writing a script to automate this process in the future. But if you don't want to wait until then, you can do this yourself. Right here, this guy Calvin.me, he has the little tutorial right here on how to install to the SSD or the little flash module, internal storage. Little things, how to update Arch, how to add a user, password to that user, give sudo, get sudo, where you can do super user actions, how to do visudo, and here's basically how the GUI will look after the whole install. He goes through everything. Zorg, mate, how to install the DE, how to map the buttons, how to get the brightness buttons to work, the volume buttons, how to remap these little function keys, Chrome OS function keys at the top, remap the little search, this button right here, the magnifying glass, make that caps locks, different things, how to get the trackpad to work real nice, like DM, so you can log straight into the GUI without having to type terminal commands to do it. Different things, how to configure the mouse, what to do. Like there's a drawn out tutorial which I've done a few times and it works really good. That's the little script for the brightness control, brightness buttons, how to map everything. Also, how to set up sound, unmute different profiles so you can use your speakers and your mic. All this is here. Screensaver. These are for mapping the buttons. Like all this is here. I really don't use it, but if enough people get enough use out of it, I'm really considering automating a script for this too. So let me know what you guys think. Anything in the comments will be fine. I hope you guys enjoy. Till the next one, take care.